So we're gonna go into a bicep curl, and at this gym we have both straight bar and easy bar. So you guys have that at your gym. This is like one of the most basic exercises. Of course, a barbell curl. I'm gonna do it with a straight bar. I really like warming up with a straight bar. This is probably, I start 75% of my workouts, with a bar movement. Overall, get a good warm up. Couple of mistakes that I see. I'm not gonna go into it too deep, but I think a lot of people, one, pick way too much weight. Two, they use a lot of momentum, wasted motion and energy. And three, they don't really make the weight as hard as possible. Biceps is like one of those things, kind of like what we mentioned in the side lateral video. You got to make the shit harder than what it is. If it's 40 pounds, make it feel like it's 100. If you're doing that, you're going to activate a lot more muscle fiber and get a better pump overall. So for me, I start with a pretty basic grip. I'll show you. We'll grab like a 50 pound to start. So for me, I try to go just where it's like comfortable. Too close, I'm on my quads right here. Just where I'm like, my hands are just to the outsides of my quads. I try to tuck my elbows a little bit. And then I'm just gonna, literally the first thing I'm gonna pull with, I think a lot of people, this is probably the first movement, I'm just gonna try to pull through my bicep at the beginning. If you activate it from the very beginning, you just finish off the movement. So I'll usually do like 10 to 12 reps, warm up, and work my way up.
I feel them on dumbbells. Dumbbells, not so much on barbell.
I see a lot of guys with barbell.
So that's how I prefer to do barbell curls. And now Seth and Tristen can show you their variations.
When I start off, I either go with a barbell or an easy bar. Some people have issues with their wrists and stuff like that, so they'll go with an easier grip, more of an easy bar. I personally like the barbell. I feel like it really builds that density in the bicep, so I really like to stick with the barbells. So I'll show you how I grip. I'm usually about shoulder width apart. You don't want to lock out at the bottom. You want to keep your elbows slightly bent. Always constant tension on the muscle. And when you come up, you want to make sure you're keeping your elbows in very tight. You want to come up, get a good squeeze up top, good contraction, slow in the negative, and you want to really make the muscle work. So you want to come up, squeeze, control the weight coming down, and make sure your elbows are in tight the whole time. Keep your elbows in tight the entire time. Don't lock your elbows out at the bottom. Constant tension the whole time. Squeeze, slow. Keep your chest up and your elbows in the whole time.
I'm gonna jump in and say something because he's doing it in a perfect manner here. Whenever he come up right here, notice that he doesn't bring all the way up. Okay, it's almost like when he comes to here, it looks like he's making a bicep muscle. Like, so whenever, like in a side, we're all bodybuilders, so when we hit a side chest, our arm is not like this. Whenever he comes up too high, he starts activating his front delt.
That's all front delt. It's all bicep here. You want to keep it until you literally can't come up anymore. Once you're coming up here, you're pulling with your front delt.
Now again, you're still working your biceps when you do that, but we're talking about optimizing the exercise for that muscle group, and he was doing it with no explanation because it works, but I see a ton of people do that incorrectly. Sorry, I jumped in, go ahead.
So, he pretty much covered it up. You really want to come up, get a full squeeze, but anything further than this is all delt. So you want to come up, squeeze, slow in the negative, and make sure your elbows in tight the entire time. 10 to 15 reps, and just really fill it out and burn the muscle out, shock it.
All right, so we just had Tristen and Cody go through their variations. Now with arms, with biceps, all you get to do is curls. That's all we do. We do hammer curls, we do barbell curls, we do dumbbell curls, easy bar curls, preacher curls. We do every type of fucking curl there is. But like these two just said, they like doing straight bars over easy. Me, I prefer to do easy bars. My left wrist is all jacked up, so whenever I do it, I feel a little bit more comfortable. That's not saying that I don't do straight bar curls. I just gravitate towards easy bar curls because I'm able to get a better squeeze on my biceps. That's what we're trying to achieve with this. Now with barbell and easy bar curls, you'll see people go heavier. Now that's because this is a bar exercise, more of a complex exercise in a sense. But remember this, whether you're doing straight bar or easy bar, the closer your hands get okay, the more outside of the bicep you work. There's two heads. The wider your hands get, the more inside the bicep you work. Now that's a very scratch the surface level of understanding, but that's a good place to start. So with this, like I said, I like the camber bar or the easy bar curls. Whenever I go and grab it closer together, you can already see that my body's almost in a more awkward position. So when I do it, I grab. Now automatically, my elbows start to kick out. That's something that Tristen and Cody were saying, don't. You want to keep your elbows in tight. But with this, it's very difficult to keep them in tight because automatically they kick out. So what that means is now I have a couple considering factors that I can fuck this exercise up and not hit my biceps. So we want to stay extra strict and come up. When we come up, we're right there. Activate more of the outside of the bicep, okay? You're still working the whole thing, but we're concentrating a little more on the outside. Then, whenever I go a little wider, now all of a sudden, I feel more in a natural position almost. My elbows aren't kicking out, I can keep them in tight, and I can come up. And like I said with Tristen, whenever you come up, you see a lot of people come up to here and want to hit themselves in the teeth almost. That's a good way. I can feel the tension come off of my biceps and onto my front delts. So, right here, right here, right here. And to add intensity to your workout, like Tristen said and Cody said, whenever you let your arms hang, all of a sudden, all the weight comes off of your biceps and begins to go just straight into your hands. Now I'm stretching out my biceps and I can feel blood rush, but if you do this every single rep, it's not a good idea. So we're gonna keep some tension, up, down. Add intensity by slowing the rep down on the way down, and it's a negative. So, there's a ton of different ways to do these. These are all curls and we're all trying to activate our biceps. However, try the different variations, use these different tips that we all went through, and get a good workout, enjoy it. This is supposed to be fun. Go through the trial and error process of all these different tips, and have at it, man. Curls for the girls. Remember that. Chicks dig big arms. No.
All right, so we already kind of went over a lot of the things that people do wrong, but one of the things, you know, I've been a teen bodybuilder, and I've started bodybuilding when I was 15. I was in the gym probably curling more weight when I was 15 than now. You know, as you go, you kind of start learning that weight isn't everything. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes on training like arms in general, but with the bicep curl, is most people think bigger weight means bigger arms, and that is not the case. You know, form over quantity and quality, or you know, quality over quantity always should be your focus. But especially like on a bicep curl, like I said, if you can make 40 pounds feel like 100, your body doesn't know a difference. You know what I mean? Just activate your muscle fiber and really focus on a really good contraction form and getting that negative, like they mentioned, and getting the more intense negatives as you go. And that's really how you're going to simulate and grow, rather than, okay, I'm going to do 200-pound curls.
I'm the asshole that likes 200-pound curls. I'm just kidding, no. No, with like you know, compounding on what Cody said, but whenever you're me, a lot of questions I get is how to form an arm workout where I can get bigger arms. We all hit on this. Tristen's biceps are, you know, some of the best in the young bodybuilding game right now. You know, whenever we're going through this, you find out what your weak points are and work at them. Whenever you're forming an arm workout, I hear a lot of people say, oh, well, you know, triceps make up 2/3 or 3/4 of your arms, so make it tricep dominant. No, whatever you suck at, work really fucking hard at. And when it comes to biceps, all you can do is curls. Like I said, dumbbell curls, barbell curls, camber bar curls, the easy bar curls, or cable curls, all these different curls. Get your shit to activate and make sure you feel the muscle work to get that mind to muscle connection, and have fun, man. All you can do is curls all fucking day, arms every day. It will work.
The biggest thing is just leaving your fucking ego outside of the gym. Come in, you really want to focus on mind-muscle connection and really connecting with the bicep. You may see me, you know, curling 80-pound dumbbells, but if you really want to, you know, build big biceps, you really want to focus on the weight, focus on, you know, the muscle contracting, and start with low weight. You really want to, you know, pump as much blood into the muscle as possible, and focus on building that peak. Imagine, you know, a mountain growing on your bicep. It's all mind-muscle connection, all mind-muscle. So you really want to focus on that bicep growing as you're working out. So don't focus on the weight, focus on the bicep growing. And that's it.
Yeah. And he put a good point, because you'll see us actually start to move some serious weight in some of our training videos. You know, he's like, I curl the 80-pound dumbbells. Yes. I'm doing hammer curls with like the 90s. I do have a little bit of a swing, however, it's that mind to muscle connection. You will get there, but you have to start somewhere. I started out hammer curling the 20-pound dumbbells. You know, we all go through those. So go through the growing pains, be patient, and make sure you're making that connection. Can't say it any better than that. That's outstanding. Fucking A.